为理想。
Welcome to the Mando Huddle. As always, we are your hosts, and I am your often imitated, never duplicated Cowboy Lorian, and with me, as always, is my co-host.
What's happening, everybody? It's the one, the only, the Lorian. Welcome.
Awesome, and we got a great assist here. We got our awesome Thunder Lorian, who is a Charger super fan, and look who just joined the podcast. We got G Mandalorian hopping in, representing the Giants.
Yeah.
And let's not get it twisted. We're talking about the New York Football Giants, not the San Francisco Giants, for those of you that like baseball. So, how we all doing, guys?
Just watching the NBA playoffs. Super excited. The draft was great. I thought everybody had a good draft. It was a great draft class for all the teams.
Agreed.
What about you, G-Man? How you feeling? Oh, don't got the audio.
I don't know if you can hear us.
Can you hear us?
Hey, man, you're breaking up.
You may have a little audio difficulty. But all right, let's get into this here. So, we got a few little things to look at. This is how the draft broke down a little bit. Some of the draft grades, they gave a few teams some A's. They gave Pittsburgh, Washington, looks like the Arizona Cardinals, the Bears. A lot of teams here got some A's. How are you feeling about this?
Let me take a look at that.
Even the Chargers got an A-.
Yeah, like I said, it looks like everybody got what they wanted out of this draft. It was a strong quarterback draft. I wasn't really high. A lot of Charger fans were high and wanted a sexy pick with a wide receiver with the 5th pick, but I was like, no, we got to protect Herbert. First and foremost, we need to address the offensive line. That needs to be addressed. And Justin Herbert last season was running for his life.
Yeah.
And he almost broke his hand on one of the plays because he got tackled by a defensive lineman. So I was more fixated. I was more leaning towards addressing the offensive line and getting a wide receiver in a later round. But the Chargers ended up getting that draft pick from the New England Patriots with the 34th pick. So we got Ladd McConkey. So, I mean, I'm satisfied with that. Give the man time to throw. He's going to make anyone look good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was actually shocked about how many quarterbacks went right away. And then it was a run on offensive linemen or defensive linemen from there. So. Jet, how are you feeling about you?
It's an exciting time to be an NFL fan. It's an exciting time. Caleb Williams with the Chicago. The rest of those quarterbacks, good luck to them. I hope it works out with their franchises. And, you guys brought Zeke back. I love Zeke. I love Zeke with you guys.
I mean, as for the Jets, I was happy. I would have preferred to take Bowers, but I understand why they didn't. I was really, really high. Cabulori, and I was really, really high on Brock Bowers.
And you had
And then
him.
he goes for the Ravens. Yeah, I mean, he was there. He was there for the taking, but we decided to go offensive line. I understand why, because like all of us in our NFL teams, we need offensive line help.
Yes.
And
Yes.
basically, the same situation as what Charger Lorian is talking about. I ended up having a quarterback out for the season because offensive line was absolutely atrocious. So yeah, I mean, I understand why the Jets stated. I am happy with the selection of the running backs because, as you guys know, it's not a one running back league anymore. There's not just one guy that's going to carry the team. And Brees Hall is awesome, but we also can't overwork him and have him get injured because then that's just another hole to fill. So I was happy with the two running backs that they picked. The Jets did a good job. I think all the teams in general did a decent job in filling holes that they needed to fill.
Yeah.
So everything else is just now it's let's get to work. What about you, G
You
man?
guys,
Talk to me, brother.
you guys have a very intelligent coach too, Robert Sala. I like him.
I mean, I like him, but he's too passive, and I want to see some kind of emotion. I want to see him not just be hyper when the team is doing well, but also get in somebody's butt when they're not doing well. And I don't see that. I see him arguing with the referees. I see him hyping up his team when they score a touchdown, which is not too often with Zach Wilson there. But I mean, it's just he needs to be more aggressive in getting his team to understand I am the coach, you're the player, do your job, I'll be happy. That's the only thing that he's lacking. I think he's a very good person. He's a nice guy. But sometimes teams players take advantage of that. So that's the only thing I have against Salah.
Yeah.
G man, talk to us, man. What you got? Yeah,
He has some audio issues. I guess he's having a little bit of lag time.
yeah. It's a lifetime issue.
But yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
all right. So I'm gonna pull up some pictures here. So uh
Hmm.
let's start with Chargers. Let me hold on. Let me show this one here. So this was the other one. We got the Giants, showing up at an A minus, Cowboys at a B, Jets at a B, you know, Eagles, they were praised for their draft, but they got a B, which I find kind of a little surprising. What about y'all? And guess what, guys? We
Yeah,
got a white cornerback back in the league since Jason Sehorn.
yeah, man.
We got our first white cornerback. And what was
Hmm.
funny is that who was it? Steve Harvey had joked about that at the NFL award show. Um, we'll give you a white cornerback, and now we got it.
Let's see. Let's see what happens. And now I'm not, and I know Cowboy Lauren is not too happy with the whole. I know that you're not big with Zeke anymore, but I agree with the Charge Lauren here when he says that. I think that was really the only route you guys could take. But I don't know what you think. So why don't you let us know what you think, man?
What was that, Jed? I'm sorry. I was responding to G Man. He was having some bad issues.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was referring to the Zeke signing back with you guys again. I know you're not too high on that, but I mean, what are you thinking on that?
I'm actually happy with Zeke. I don't think we should have let him go. I would have been happy
Right.
getting rid of Pollard last year. I said for the last ever since people started saying we should have let Pollard be the starting running back. I'm like, you guys ain't watching. He ain't jack. Like
Mm-hmm.
he has
Mm-hmm.
he has to have someone taking up the brute of the beating, and then he can go in and shock everybody with his speed. But
Yeah.
he's not a starter. He's just not that type of player.
Right. Right. Right.
So
And I'm also, I mean, did you guys draft the running back in this
no, we did
draft,
not.
Cowboy Long?
We actually picked up the Mizzou running back as a undrafted free agent.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
He's got that guy's got some quick to him. And he's also a
Mhm.
little bit of a big boy too. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Jet, let's look at your draft picks with the number 11th pick, which you traded down. He got I think a ransom for one spot for the Vikings. You got
Yeah.
Alu. Ooh, I can't even say his
Yeah.
last name.
Yeah.
Lachanu.
We raped them. We raped the Vikings on that one. We raped them. The Vikings. The Vikings went up and they gave us multiple picks to go up one pick.
So the two picks I was actually really mad at you about was you took Braylon Allen from me, and then Isaiah Davis thereafter. You know, I was kind of upset with the draft
Braden Allen, that was a good pick for us. Why are you mad?
because I needed Braylon Allen on my team. That's why. You already have a running back, Daniel.
That guy
I
Braden
mean,
Allen is a monster.
if anything, he plays in our conference, so we should be mad.
Yeah, exactly.
We might have to run
Yeah,
into
no,
them in the playoffs.
I was thinking
Yeah,
about
so it's
that
because I
Braden
know
Allen
him.
and Brees
That's the
Hall
reason I was
matchup.
mad because his team took my guy. I already saw Trey Benson go. I saw Jalen Brooks go to
Uh-huh.
teams I didn't even want him to go to, like the Arizona Cardinals.
Mhm.
And then I was like, all right, well, we got Braylon Allen. I even told him, I messaged him. I was like, hey, you know, we lost those two running backs, but guess what? There's still Braylon Allen. I'm okay. We'll be okay. And then this fool takes him in the fourth round. I'm like, I hate you. I was like, you
You
don't
know,
need that
and
type
then
of a running back. You already got one.
no, and the Cowboy Lorian texted me. He was like, "Really, two running backs? You really need two running backs?"
Exactly. Like you already have two running backs on the roster that are actually pretty decent. Like, why did y'all draft two rookies that one that is actually technically could be a starter easily,
Yeah,
and then the
yeah.
other is pretty much a scat back, which you already have. So,
I don't
with
think the Jets.
what's
I
your
don't
running
think
back's
they're.
name? The really good one,
I,
Bryce or something?
he's Brees Hall.
Bryce
Brees
Hall,
Hall. Yeah,
whatever his name is.
yeah, Brees Hall. No,
So I
Brees. I
mean,
mean, I think at the end it's going to be Brees Hall and Allen are going to be the two guys in the backfield for us. I think because Allen is a monster. He's going to eat up the tackles, and then you got Brees Hall that can get outside and catch passes, and so it's going to be hard to cover the Jets, man. And the offense is coming along. So let's see. Let's just hope that it works this time.
you know. All right, Thunderlorn. Let's take a look at your draft here. So you got Joe Alt, Lado McConkey,
That's a great pick.
Junior Collison, Justin Elridge. Um, I can't see the guys at the bottom, but y'all had a pretty good draft pick. I mean, you saw, you got the linebacker from uh, out of Michigan, so you know Harbaugh got one of his boys. So you know how you feeling about your draft class?
Oh man, I'm I'm so happy. Um, Words can't even describe. We picked up a linebacker. We picked up a defensive lineman. We picked up some corners. We picked up some wide receivers. We picked up a running back. And Joe Alt from Notre Dame with the fifth pick.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was like I was like
that's huge.
I hosted a watch party over here. A Everybody was like, "Damn, this guy's like." And if you understand, run the rock, pound it, build in the trenches,
Mm-hmm.
the defensive line, the offensive line, because he wants to protect the quarterback and he shove it in your face. And you know, some of these people they want to draft a running back with the fifth pick. They want to draft a wide receiver with the fifth pick. That's something you do in the lower rounds.
Yeah, yeah,
You could pick up a wide receiver, a running back, a good solid running back, a good solid wide receiver in the later rounds. You use
yeah.
for a skills position, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. A high draft pick like that, you got to go with like defensive line or offensive line.
Yeah, gotta get the big
When it comes
bodies.
to generational talent, I mean, especially in the first round with a quarterback, a running back, or even a receiver, I mean, you're really playing a crapshoot. You don't know.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, they were the bomb diggity over in college, but you don't know if that translates to the NFL. I mean, look how many receivers the Lions drafted over the years that were supposed to be top notch and weren't.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No, I
quarterbacks,
mean,
same thing. You got Ryan Leaf, you got Carson Wentz, you got. I
Zach
mean, Goff has
Wilson.
kind of
Yeah,
resurrected his career, but for a long time, you were just like, well, he's a bust too.
yeah.
You had like, I mean, even if you look back at the Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott draft, how many quarterbacks were drafted, and are majority of them are not in the league. There's three left, and that well, technically, I guess you could say three because Carson Wentz got picked up by the Chiefs, but you only got two, which is Goff and Dak still starting. Although Dak is the only
Mhm.
one still with his original drafted team, and he was a fourth round pick. He wasn't even a first round pick.
Right, right. I mean, I think it's a chance you take regardless of the pick. But in the higher rounds, I mean, I agree that it should be one of probably a big boy. Either defensive line or offensive line. I think that's the way to go as well. Did we lose them? Did we lose Charles Lawton?
Yeah, we kind of lost him.
I think we lost them.
Yeah,
But
he
yeah,
might
I
come
mean,
back.
unless you have like four first round picks, like for example, what the Jets had in 22, but we had four first round picks. So then you can go ahead and decide, okay, I'm gonna try to pick from everybody. So they got a corner, they got a receiver, they got a linebacker. You know what I mean? So they were able to do things and a running back. So they were able to get four players in the first round picks that are all starters right now.
You know?
But if you get just one pick, you gotta really be careful on how you pick.
Yeah, I mean, now getting to my team. Now the first three picks, actually four picks, I would say. Um,
Mhm.
I can actually live with. Um, although there was a few players that I actually would have preferred. Um, we got Tyler Guyton. So many people are
All right,
down on
then
Tyler
Lord,
Guyton, but when you're watching his film, you don't see
mm-hmm.
anybody get past him. He's very similar to how Tyron Smith was, and everyone's
Right,
like knocking Guyton about being able to move to left tackle. Well, people forget Tyron Smith was a right tackle at USC. He never played
right.
left tackle at USC, but he made the transition to left, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
And the
I
thing is,
mean,
like Tyler Guyton is 6'8", Tyron was 6'5",
hmm
and I would have to say, like based on what I've seen, I would say coming out of college. This is just coming out of college. I'm not going to compare, where they're at now, but coming out of college, I would say Guyton's a little bit more athletic than what Tyron was.
Yeah.
oh, he's also younger. So I mean, I know what you're saying. You're right. You can't. I mean, Tyron Smith put a lot of great years with you guys. So I mean, yeah, yeah.
The our second round pick, I'm still kind of on the fence on. He's kind of like a DeMarcus Lawrence type, so don't know what that's going to translate to.
Hmm.
Getting BB out of Kansas State, from basically what I've seen, if he can move that nastiness to center, I'm okay with it because we need that
Hmm.
nastiness at center to plow up and move people and make that line go. Um, Maurice Leofau out of Notre Dame, he can be a beast. He can be like a Sean Lee type of player, I think.
Right.
Now moving to our fifth round pick, I honestly do not know why we drafted the corner. I get where they're coming from and what they say about him, but we have corners. We have like 10,
Hmm.
15. We drafted one in the fifth round last year, and Eric Scott, who didn't even see the field. Like it don't that pick did not make sense when there was other players we could have drafted. And Thunder, you got the pick, you got the player I wanted to get at the 5th round, which was Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son.
Hell yeah, USC
So
baby, fight
yeah,
on.
you didn't even mention that. You didn't even mention that. I don't even think you knew who Brendan Rice was.
Nah,
You were like,
I
wide
went to
receiver. We
a
got him in
few of
this
the
round.
games. I
Cool.
know who he
We
is.
got him in the 7th round. We got a receiver. Cool.
Brendan Rice, baby. Fight on.
Then we drafted from the corner. We went I think another defensive player. No, offensive player. We drafted another tackle, and then another, and then we also got a receiver in the 6th round. I don't see. Everyone says that was a great pick, but I just don't know. Like from the highlights that I saw, he's like a Keyshawn Johnson type of player, where he's more of a possession receiver. I never really saw much from the highlights that I actually watched because most of these players that get drafted in the later rounds, unless I heard them being talked about, I go look them up on YouTube and see what their highlights are about. And I'll be like, okay, you know what? I can see where he's going to help us. I can, because, I just don't know until I can see, some game film because, I ain't going to watch all 900 players of game film. I'm going to wait till we draft a player and see what we got. So, based
Well,
off the film that I've
the,
watched on some of these players,
yeah,
okay,
the
but
thing
you
is
got to see it.
too. The thing is too, and it's going to address exactly what you're talking about. Is you got different types of running backs now. You got different types of wide receivers now. You
Mm-hmm.
got different types of tight ends now. So I understand what you mean. You want to see what type of like dynamics he's gonna bring to your roster.
Right.
Like what he's gonna bring as far as he's a wide receiver, but is he a slot one or like what is he a wideout? Like what is he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Like you just don't know what you're gonna get until you see the film. Like, and how a team's gonna and how your team's gonna use them. Like, if you have a specific position that's already stacked, like it's like why? Like, if this player's not better than what we have in our room in our roster right now, why do we take him? Like, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
And I think it's a fair assessment and it's a fair question to ask. What do you think of Mike McCarthy as your head coach right now?
I have no complaints. You're actually not the first to ask me that. I actually have no complaints. I was actually happy that we actually got rid of Kellen Moore. And when y'all picked him up, I laughed. And then when y'all fired him, I laughed again. And then when he got hired by the Eagles, I laughed even more. So, the thing is everyone was trying to give Mike McCarthy a hard time about, oh, he said he wanted to run the ball more. Well, look what happened this last year. Hello, you had a running back who couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
He couldn't get that short yardage. He couldn't even get over the goal line against the corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
My
like,
next question, and I mean this
when you
in
don't
the
have the
most
players in place to do what he was trying to do, because if you look in the beginning of the year, he tried running the ball. He tried to run it 20, 30 times a game. And then he finally said, you know what, go with it. If Pollard ain't going to get it done, I'll run him the 10, 15 times like we did in the past, and we'll throw the ball because that's what we're best at right now. Even though we need to take pressure off Dak, we don't have the players. And you
okay.
have Jerry Jones who didn't even go out and get, a Dalvin Cook or, some of these players that were available last year.
Listen,
Okay. That's
Capolino. Dalvin Cook wasn't worth picking up anyway, brother.
But
That guy was
it's
that guy
also
was
the system,
smart.
though. You got to remember, the system does have a lot to do with a lot of players. A lot of players are
He's
system driven. That's why they succeeded in college, because they went to the right program that actually used their talents. And you know, they're like look at Cleveland. Like I've said before, Jet, look at Cleveland and look how many quarterbacks they went through because the coaching was garbage.
No,
If you
and
would
I
have
get
put
that.
if you would have put Brady Quinn on the Chargers back then, or the Cowboys, or some of the other teams, I guarantee they probably would have thrived.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dalvin Cook, Minnesota let him go for a reason. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, it was money. He's got a lot of money, but the guy has fumbling problems. He can't hold on to the ball. So he's not. He wouldn't have been any better for you guys to pick up. You probably would have been pissed off at him. So
Donovan Wilson
um,
scared him with that hit he gave him in Minnesota. That's why he started a fumble.
yeah, whatever. I mean, what? All the excuses in the world are still not going to change the fact that the guy has fumbleitis. So it is what it is. You know, it's just the guy is not the same guy. You know, it was $5 million that the Jets wasted on a guy.
Y'all
Wasted.
signed Le'Veon Bell, who was still in his prime, and he was garbage
Yeah, but
also.
but also remember, Le'Veon Bell came to play with the supposed offensive genius guru, who was actually pathetic and the worst coach I think ever.
Like I said,
Adam Gase is the worst coach ever in the
you just
NFL.
proved my point there, Jet. It
You know what
depends
I mean?
on
So,
where the system and the program that you go to.
I mean, Adam Gase thought he could turn everybody into Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning was actually the one that made Adam Gase the name. So whatever, you know.
No argument here.
Yeah. But
So the burning question here is, what did y'all think about the biggest head scratcher of the draft, the Falcons taking Penix with the eighth pick, and they had just given good old Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed and
150, yeah,
180 overtime.
that's the worst. That's the worst pick, and it's not about Michael Penix because I think that he's going to be a decent QB. I think he's not bad. I just don't think that he was supposed to be picked there. It's just you don't. Why don't you pick need instead of want? Like you just gave this guy a whole shitload of money, and now you bring in this rookie kid who, by year two, is probably going to be pushing this guy to get out of the way. So I mean, I don't know. I didn't. I thought it was a really bad pick on Minnesota's part. I think they could have done better. I think they could have. I think they could have probably went, maybe a tight end or a lineman or something like that. I mean, at that high of a pick to pick a guy that's going to sit for 2 years, 3 years made no sense. It was a wasted pick for them. What do you think,
Roy, what about
Dandelion?
you?
I think they got lightning in a bottle. I think they're expecting Cousins to get hurt, but
Mhm.
I don't know. Like that money, that contract, that it's questionable. It's really questionable. But the same thing happened with my Chargers when we had Tyrod Taylor starting, and they punctured his lung on accident, and we threw Justin Herbert in.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And that's when Justin Herbert took the reins. Justin Herbert took over the team. But hopefully that kid, man, hopefully he gets his chance to shine. Because Kirk Cousins, he's he's like a journeyman quarterback to me. He's like
An
a solid
overpaid
backup.
journeyman quarterback who doesn't win in the playoffs and somehow gets all this guaranteed money.
He's
Yeah.
made more money than
He,
Tom
he
Brady.
you want to talk about con man and create and committing a crime? Kirk Cousins is the biggest criminal in the NFL.
He's robbing them.
He well, you know what, Washington, you know what, they deserved it. Minnesota, he robbed them for 5 years, 6 years, whatever it was, and now he's definitely robbing the Falcons.
He robbed the
Well,
Falcons without even pointing a gun at them. They just went ahead and gave it to him.
he was playing against Aaron Rodgers out there.
Say that again?
He was playing against Aaron Rodgers out there when he was in
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota.
Nah. Yeah. Nah.
That's a tough animal. That's an animal.
He also played against the Bears. The Bears.
The
And then,
Chicago Bears when they had Urlacher.
yeah, I
So let me
mean,
pose
it
this
was.
question: do you think it was more of a panic pick, taking kind of weapon with your Jets last year, Jet, and hearing out like crap, he is coming off an injury. If he goes down again for whatever reason, we don't have that player that could take over. This kid is 26 years old already, almost. Why don't we draft him and
But
that way
then,
we
but
keep
then,
and have him ready to go?
well, I mean, it opens up another question to the one you asked. And the question is, are they ready to compete right now in that division? And the answer is probably, but Tampa Bay is still better.
For
So
that
I don't
division, that
know.
division's still open.
Yeah, but I don't know if the pick is the right pick for where they were picking. I mean, I don't know. My opinion, I guess. I just feel that they could have filled other needs. You already gave him and guaranteed this guy all this money. Now you're bringing in a guy, and it goes back to the Aaron Rodgers argument on them drafting the kid that they drafted out in Green Bay, where he was like, "Why not get me more weapons instead of drafting a guy that's going to sit for 2 or 3 years because he's not going to outplay me, and I'm not the one that's going to sit." So if Minnesota would have, I think, in my opinion, if Minnesota would have thought things through, they would have probably went and got more weapons at that
You mean the
pick.
Falcons?
I'm sorry.
You mean the Falcons?
I'm sorry, the Falcons. They gotten more picks, maybe trade down, pick up some picks, and fill holes where they see fit. And then probably Penix would probably still have been there later on in the draft, and they could have probably selected him lower in the picks. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Playing devil's
Honestly,
advocate
the
and
Raiders
whatever. Monday
did
morning quarterback.
drafted there. He would have gone to Thunder's arch nemesis, the Raiders.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, I mean,
And then
that
Thunder
oh,
that's
rolling,
one.
taking in his boots, worrying about them Raiders coming at him.
Yeah.
oh man, there's like a super ongoing rivalry right now with us and the Raiders. It's crazy.
Hmm.
It's super crazy. We're like fighting for LA right now.
Y'all's division is similar to ours. Like it's a lot of hate between the teams. Like it's almost it's like a fight for like if Charger fans go to, well, let's I want to say Oakland, but it used to be Oakland, but go to Las Vegas, or Las Vegas goes to now LA. It's very difficult for me to say freaking LA Chargers, Las Vegas Raiders, and some of these other teams that have moved. But so
Hmm.
the for Chargers going to the Raiders, Raiders going to the Chargers, y'all going to KC, KC going to you guys, you know, in Denver, even I can't forget about Denver, the Donkeys. But you got them, as well, and there's a hatred between all four teams, and it's very very real.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
like you would
nah,
think it's West
it
Side Story, being played out with the AFC West teams and the NFC East teams. Like it's like, all right, you want to go? You want to go?
Hmm.
nah, yeah, and that's exactly why I became a bounty hunter.
There
You
you
know,
go. There you go.
and we try our best at Thunder Alley to show fan unity and try to get along with everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's always somebody that just messes up the chemistry. They do something stupid. They'll spit on somebody. they'll like, I don't know, do something dumb.
Yeah,
And
it's like why are y'all going to that length? It's like, you know, and me and Jet have talked about this. Like, hey, Jet, you like the Jets? Cool. You know what? Support your team. Do whatever you want to do. Thunder, you like the Chargers? You know, support them. You know, like I have the teams I hate, but I hate the team. I don't hate the fans. You know what?
Exactly.
Your
Exactly.
job is to support your team in any form or fashion.
Exactly.
Support your team. You know, if I see another fan, hey bro, what's going on? I have no problem. I love taking pictures with the opposite fans. It's cool when they go like, you know what, I hate the Cowboys, but your outfit's awesome. You know what?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Keep it up.
Yeah, no, and I got that. I got that at the Dolphins game. I went to the Dolphins game with my daughter, Thunderlorian, and I got there, and you're always expecting the worst, and then you see the Dolphin fans, and a couple of them came to me and were like, "Yo, man, don't like your team, but your helmet is hard. Can we take pictures?" I was like, "Absolutely, man. Come on." I took pictures with a bunch of Dolphin fans. I don't have a problem with the Dolphin fans. I don't want your team to win, but I don't hate you. You know what I mean? I don't even know you. So yeah,
Yeah, same thing when I go to
that,
San
that,
Francisco. It's like, I don't mind the booing. Hey, boo all you want. Hey, come on. I'll boo you, you boo me. Let's go. Let's have fun.
and that's that.
You know,
Yeah, but never take
and
it
that,
home from there.
but when it's like, that the problem is when they start coming at me directly, it's like, okay, now we're gonna have a little bit of problem. And if you want to talk about certain things, you better have your facts in order because I'm gonna school you because I probably know more about your team than you do.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, you know what? To piggyback off what you guys both said, what makes it harder for fans like us is we stand out more than the casual fan.
Mm-hmm.
correct,
So we
correct.
got a target on our backs when we're walking in the stadium, when we're going to our seat, when we're cheering for our team, when they score a touchdown, get a
Mm-hmm.
field goal. Everybody's looking at us from the opposing team of the rival.
Yeah, yeah,
So we got to put on more of a responsibility, more of a we're put on a higher pedestal, if you will, for lack of better words, that we got to be held higher to a higher standard.
Mm-hmm.
right, right.
Like because
Yeah,
everybody's watching us. Like
yeah,
we can't cuss at people. We can't throw a beer at somebody. We can't punch someone in the face because it's going to be like, oh yeah, that guy, that Mandalorian guy. Yeah, I remember seeing him, and he was beating up some like guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, and as a because we're super fans. Truth is, we're the super fans. So you have all the fans, but like you just said, Thunderlord, we stick out like sore thumbs. So
Yes,
we have more of a responsibility. Like even when I went to the Dolphins game, I was telling other Jet fans, and in that game, we actually got blown out. We got our doors blown off. But I remember telling the other Jet fans, yo, easy, easy. Let's not get into anything stupid because we're here to enjoy the game. Let's just enjoy the game. Let's enjoy the fans. Let's take pictures and enjoy. And that's basically what we did. But yeah, we have a responsibility to try to keep everything in check and try to be the best fans we can be and show the other team, damn, you know what? That guy is not a butt face. He's a cool dude, regardless of being from the other team. You know what I mean? So you're right. It's something that we need to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know what? If you hate the Cowboys, you hate the Cowboys. You hate them or you love them. I'm cool with it. I've been dealing with this since I was a kid. Like, if you hate them, cool. I don't mind it. It's fine
Yeah.
with me.
But you
I
don't know
don't
me
like
from
the
Adam.
Niners. I don't
So
like, the Broncos. I don't like the Giants. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like the Commanders. You know, but I'm not coming at fans.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, there's
Now,
a guy
now,
that there's a guy that's
don't get me wrong. I'll have fun with fans. Like I have fun with Sneaky G from the Giants. I
yeah,
have
yeah,
I had fun with Jet this past year when the Jets
yeah.
came.
We had a
I had
blast.
fun with
We had a blast.
all three
In my
Mando
extent,
Jets. the two Boba Jets and then Jet. I had fun with all three of them with just one ticket, and it was pretty much hilarious.
Yeah,
So,
but it's all in fun. It's never personal, and
mhm.
that's what people sometimes forget. They take it personal, bro. Those players that are playing on the team, that you may look at it as their rival. They know each other, and after the game, they're going to go have some dinner, and the game is gone. And to them, it's not personal. It's whatever. It's a game. So as fans, we need to understand that and not be so ready to be aggressive and beat somebody up because they're rooting for for your nemesis. Like, come on, you know what I mean? It's common sense.
Yep. So Thunder, tell us what made you create your character, and then like how did you start on building up your gear and all that other stuff.
Can you repeat the first part?
Tell us what made you want to become a Mando and how you started to create your character.
Oh man. So my son, um, that was the first show I actually sat down with him and watched.
Mm,
And I was trying to get him to watch different shows like Cobra Kai, um,
Cobra Kai.
Stranger Things, like different
Hmm.
shows. I would try sitting him down with me to watch him, and he had no interest, like whatsoever. And Mandalorian, I don't know. I don't know what it was about that.
Baby Grogu.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah,
Good old Grogu got him.
yeah. And actually, on my Grogu, this is my son's jersey.
Mm,
Let me see. Trying to get in the picture. This is
Yep.
actually my son's jersey.
mm,
So it's like every time I'm at a game, it's like I got a piece of him with me. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But you know, I don't know. The Mandalorian, it's a great show. Din Djarin, I love that character. I love him. I love his
Mhm.
backstory. How he was found by the Mandalorian, how he got adopted and taken in, and you know, everyone was complaining about the third season. I thought it was good,
Right, right.
but you know, basically, I went to a Raiders game at StubHub
Okay.
when the Chargers first came to LA.
Yeah, y'all
Oh my
got so
god,
much flack for being at that stadium. Oh my god.
bro! There was so much black and silver. Like there was like stormtroopers. There was like Raider Vader.
Yep.
There
Mm,
was like all these like Star Wars characters, and I was just like, holy shit! I was just like, and there was other characters too. Like there was like random like looking character people, and I went to a watch party over right here where I'm from, and I talked to the leader, and I said, hey, how would you feel about me painting my helmet and putting lightning bolts on it and becoming like Thunderlord? And he was
mm,
just like, are you down? And I said, yeah, I'm thinking about it. And he was just like, well,
mm.
don't talk about it, be about it.
Be about it. There you go.
Yeah. And that's when I adopted Thunderlorian. I adopted,
That's when the
and then
Mandalorian
everybody
was born.
started recognizing me at Thunder Alley or tailgate, and everyone recognized me in the stadium. And I don't get free shit, or excuse my language, I don't get free stuff, but I get incentives.
Right, right,
I get incentives.
right.
Like I'll get like drink pouch, like drink passes, food passes, like stuff like that. But that's where that started. I've loved the Chargers and USC. So when Junior Seau played against the 49ers back in 94 and they lost, that hurt. I went in my room and I cried because the 49ers blew us out. And I even supported
That was
the Jets
unexpected.
because they got
I
Mark
remember that
Sanchez.
Super Bowl. That was so unexpected. Oh my God.
Yeah. When the Jets got Mark Sanchez, I was supporting you guys.
Really? That's
I was
awesome.
still a
Yeah,
Chargers
USC
fan,
quarter.
but
There's
I
only been
support
one quarterback
USC.
at the
I support
USC
my
that has done
Trojans.
anything.
And
One quarterback.
he was bad. Mark Sanchez was he was bad. He
Matt
really
Leinart was worse because the ball left his arm on Monday and didn't arrive till Friday, and that was on a 5-yard pass.
But wait a minute,
yeah.
hold on. You're not gonna bash Mark Sanchez, are you crazy? He took the Jets to 2 AFC Championship games, back-to-back years.
Exactly.
So
And
you can't.
he beat Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
Exactly. So you can't really bash this guy because he actually had a decent career. He didn't have a bad career. You know what I mean? So
Was it
I mean,
him or was it y'all's defense and running back?
but
I
he
remember.
still
I,
he
I
still
remember
but
during
he
that
still
time,
produced.
you had a very,
He
very
still
prominent running back from the
but
Chargers
he
doing all
still
the
he
work
still
for him.
well, but nah, but he still produced. He still did his job. His job was still to be the quarterback, and he played. He didn't play bad. He wasn't great. He's never going to be known as Peyton Manning or even Eli Manning. But the guy did his job. The guy played and he played hard and he tried and I give him credit. He took us to 2 AFC Championship games more than we've been ever since then. So I can't
He
complain.
became butt
You
fumble.
know?
But yes, he had some success, but he didn't have that success throughout a career. Is what I'm trying to say. He had like
No,
two good
no.
seasons, and then the rest of his life was
And
garbage.
you're right though. He had a top 5 defense. He had Braylon Edwards on one
He
end. He has Antonio Holmes in the other. He had a running game that was downhill running. Yeah,
Well, you got to think too. He had to go through Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
that's my point. He still had to go beat Belichick in New England, which that same year the Jets got blown out by them 45-3 in New York. And during the playoffs, they had to go to New England and they beat them in New England. I mean, nobody even thought that was going to happen. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I can't really complain about Mark Sanchez. I really can't. The only thing I complain
No,
about is the butt fumble. I think that's not right.
the
That
thing
was his
people
career right
complained the
there.
most
That's the only
about
thing
him,
anyone remembers.
Yeah, that
they
butt
call him
fumble
butt
was,
fumble. Like that's the only
yeah,
thing they can hold against him.
yeah. But that doesn't determine his whole career. The guy had a decent career. The guy didn't have a great career, but he didn't have a bad career.
So
Yeah.
Thunderlord, let me ask you: in the last 30 years, who would you say is the most successful quarterback from USC
Hmm.
in the NFL?
In the last
Hmm.
30 years,
Yeah,
I'll probably have to say Mark Sanchez.
Carson Palmer.
I was going to say Carson Palmer myself.
Carson Palmer is the most successful quarterback out of USC the last 30 years. Every other quarterback that has come out of USC is technically garbage.
Yeah. And didn't he lose?
What team are you
Didn't he
talking
lose
about though?
to?
Huh?
Didn't he lose to Mark Sanchez?
So many players lost to Mark Sanchez I shouldn't have.
No, what I'm saying, Carson Palmer. I think that we played them in the playoffs, and I think we beat them.
When
But
he played for Cincinnati?
yeah,
Maybe.
that Cincinnati game wasn't Carson Palmer
Cincinnati
the quarterback?
never could do anything in the playoffs anyways.
Huh?
Wait. Are we talking about terms of accolades and success, or are we talking about stats?
Accolades and success. It is technically Carson Palmer.
Yeah, no, Carson Palmer had a very good career in USC.
Well,
He
Carson
did.
Palmer never won MVP. He never won a Super Bowl.
Neither Sanchez. But if you look at our USC quarterbacks in the last 30 years, from Rob Johnson to who was the last quarterback taken? I think it was John David Booty, or no, Sam Darnold.
Oh, Sam Darnold, don't do
So
that.
from
It just
Rob
gets worse and worse
Johnson
every time.
from Rob Johnson to then to now, because we can't count Caleb Williams because we don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you look at
But
accolades, Carson Palmer is the only successful quarterback over an entire career at a
but
USC.
how many playoffs games has Carson Palmer gone to? Or better off, how many
Exactly,
AFC Championship games
exactly,
has he gone to?
exactly.
Because he hasn't gone to any AFC Championship
How?
games.
Yeah, he's never been in an AFC Championship game,
Never. So truth
and
is,
he
Mark
had
Sanchez, if
Ocho
you want,
Cinco.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So
So
DeLorean, high five, buddy.
Mark Sanchez had 2 years, 2 years winning. Carson Palmer had, I don't know, think he played what, 12 years, 13 years,
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah.
He probably had
Yeah.
10 good seasons. I think the only bad seasons he had were in Oakland.
Yeah. I don't know. I
And
probably
and,
if
and,
you
and
tell me
Thunder, the
to
reason
if you
I'm
tell
talking about this is because I played for ASU during the Matt Leinart era.
and yeah,
And
I don't know. If you,
Matt Leinart was garbage. Lendell White was better than Reggie Bush, in my opinion.
I don't know about that one, dude.
So the reason why I say that
I
is
don't
because
know
this.
about that one.
We
That
played
I
Reggie
don't
Bush
know.
the year that USC dominated the entire country. And I no, this wasn't the year they actually lost to Texas.
Yeah, no,
Probably the year
I
prior.
don't know.
This is 2003. No, I lied. 2004. 2004. We
I'm
had
not gonna say
USC down 28-3.
I get
We
it, but
made Reggie Bush get kicked out of the game
but
in the first quarter.
so
He didn't
basically
play until the
you
fourth.
would take him over Bush if you had a choice.
Huh?
If you had a choice, you would take him over Bush.
I would take Lendo White.
I don't know about that.
Bush is a
Son
scat back.
DeLorean.
Bush was a scat back. He was a utility back.
Yeah, no, but I'm not taking him over Bush. I'm sorry. I'm just not. That's just my opinion. I mean, that's why we're talking. But
Isn't that the reason why
I'm,
he wasn't drafted number one?
no, I get it. But who did they draft? Didn't they draft Mario Williams #1 over
Mm-hmm.
him?
And he had a better
So
career than Reggie Bush.
the only reason why they draft. I mean, it's all about need. It's all about need. And the truth is that he didn't have a bad career. Bush didn't have a bad career, but Mario Williams didn't do much either during his career. What did he do? He
He
didn't do much.
was
I
a
mean,
starter since day one. Reggie Bush wasn't a
I,
starter.
I mean, I don't think Mario Williams won a Super Bowl. Did he win a chip? I don't think so. I don't
Well,
think he won
Reggie
a
Bush
chip.
But
won the Super
Reggie
Bowl.
Bush ran it on the bench pretty much. He wasn't the main
Yeah,
focus of the offense.
but
He had a few
I don't.
touchdowns in that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I
He
think it's
wasn't
hard to
the
go
main back.
against Bush with.
Reggie Bush was never the main back. He's very similar to
No,
Pollard.
but he's not a guy that you really need to make a main back. He's a guy that's going to be a guy that's going to break your back when you don't pay attention to where he's at. He's that kind of guy.
Do you draft a running back in the second round or second pick overall? Or what did he go? Third?
No, I think he went second. I think Mario Williams went first, right? In that
Yeah, but
draft.
I think Reggie fell a few picks to the Saints. I think Saints were third or fourth that year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But don't you
it
draft a
depends on
running
the
back
team.
that high that is a bell cow? You don't draft a scat back.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
or a person that you just
I mean,
throw
he
little out routes to.
I mean, he reminds me a lot of. I mean, I guess Willis McGahee is actually a little bigger than he was, but he reminds me of that kind of back.
Yeah,
Like he's a guy that, huh?
he was someone that had power behind him. Before he had that
Yeah,
leg injury in the national championship,
yeah,
that's what screwed up McGahee.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you watch McGahee, Bush wouldn't have touched McGahee. McGahee had to change the way his entire the way he played the game because he was afraid of that same injury happening
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah. That was a nasty injury. That was nasty. That was nasty. Mhm. I don't know. So, Thunderlorian, let me ask you a question. Where do you think your Chargers finish this year?
We're gonna be a wild card.
Okay.
We're not gonna be. Um, there's fans that think we're gonna be a 10 plus, 11 plus win team. We're not.
Mhm. Okay.
We got the easiest straight to schedule. I'll admit that. But this is Harbaugh's first season. It's a transition going from
Right.
college to the NFL. It's different when you're coaching men who are getting paid millions.
He's not a first timer though. I mean, he's
Right. Yeah.
coached,
He did coach the Niners to a Super
many
Bowl.
times in the NFL. I mean, he took the Niners to a Super Bowl. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
he's been a coach in
But
the
the NFL
NFL.
does
He's been a
change.
head coach in the NFL before, so it's not like he's not aware of this. And
Yeah.
I don't even know if you remember this, but Harbaugh was your quarterback way back in the day. And technically, I think it was supposed to be Cowboys and Chargers for Super Bowl 30, but there was some freak thing that happened that game that messed it up. I don't remember what it
Mhm.
was, but I remember Harbaugh talking about it that it should have been Cowboys versus Chargers that year.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I remember when Harbaugh was our quarterback. Um, but I just think today the NFL is just a different animal now. From when he
Yeah.
was coaching the 49ers, um, it's just a different league now. It's just different. Um, and it's not a knock on him, you know, but I think it's going to take time to adjust. Um, it's going to take time for him, you know, coach against the defenses that he's going to be playing up against. Um, I know some of the tough teams I'm afraid of playing is like the Steelers. You know, their defense is like really, man, the 49ers, they got a great defense. And they
Hmm.
always match us up against them every year because they're in California.
Right. Right.
So it's like, and then the Cowboys, your guys' defense is good too. So it's like,
Mhm.
damn, like they always throw us with like Texas, um, up North California. Um, thank God Pete Carroll retired because that defense was scary too over there in Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, and the Jets, you guys got a good defense too. Like I'm like, man, like you know what, like thank God Aaron Rodgers got hurt that on that third snap because that would have been scary going up against that defense and going up against Aaron Rodgers, arguably the boat, the best ever, you know, to play the game.
Yeah.
The long
I
throw
honestly
deep
will say I
ball.
was very disappointed Rodgers got hurt that game because we played the Jets the next week, and even though they had Wilson at quarterback, I was not expecting us to dominate their defense as much as we did that game. I was actually shocked by that.
I mean, the truth is that when you have a defense that's out on the freaking field the entire game, because you have a quarterback that's
But it was
inept
but
and
it was from start to
doesn't
finish.
know what a check
It
down
wasn't even
is.
a game in the first quarter.
No, but what I'm saying, regardless, I mean, you guys played every team in the NFL played the Jets without fear of an offense because there was no offense. You guys knew that you could take risks, you can take chances, because you knew that there was going to be no repercussions to you guys taking those chances because there was no offensive production. So, okay, yeah, the Jets got a tough defense. We'll go for it on 4th and 1 because we know that if we turn the ball over to them on 4th and 1, their quarterback is going to come and do one or two things. He's either going to throw an interception or he's going to fumble the ball, and we're going to get the ball back anyway. So let's take the risk. Let's take the chance. You're not going to play the same way with a guy like Aaron Rodgers that knows what he's looking at and knows what a check down is and knows who's coming and who's not. Well, this guy's over there like a wide-eyed Bambi, not knowing where the hunter is coming from. So it's just a different ballgame now. Hopefully he can stay healthy, and if he does, the Jets are a different animal than they were last year.
So Thunder, what are your thoughts on your team? Because I know you all love Eckler. I don't know how you felt about Eckler. I thought he was a pretty good running back. I don't know why he would have wanted to leave, but maybe it was just a conversation with Harbaugh. But what do you feel
Mm.
about your quarterback and where the direction of the team so far?
Well, my honest opinion about that, and this is probably going to turn off a lot of fans. I honestly think offensive players today are divas.
Mm.
And Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, good riddance. Bye bye. You're not part of the process now.
Right.
And Austin Eckler, I never liked that guy.
Yeah.
Mm.
I never liked him. I never liked him. There was just something about that guy. I would see him at training camp. I would see Keenan Allen at training camp. Keenan Allen, he don't sign autographs. I don't know if you're aware about that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's I don't know, man. Like it's just something about that guy and Austin Eckler. Like they good riddance to them. Like good for
Mm.
you. You guys left. You guys are gone now. And we're gonna move on. We're gonna keep pushing forward. We're gonna keep bolting up. We're gonna keep doing our due diligence over here. We got our new headquarters opening up, and you guys aren't going to be a part of it. So be it.
Mm.
So be it.
All right.
I'm
Mm,
I'm,
All
I'm
right.
glad you guys are gone. Like we don't need people. We don't need anybody that don't want to be around to be around. If that makes sense.
Correct.
mm.
Yeah, no, makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
What
That
about you,
that's that.
Caballero? And what are you looking at?
Well, I mean, I've been vocal about this. I'm not a big proponent of Dak. I got nothing bad to say about Dak as a person.
Mm-hmm.
All my quarrel with Dak is the way he plays when the games matter. And I've been vocal about this since he was a rookie.
Right.
There are too many holes in his game, and it's holes that he hasn't even fixed. He's still doing the same thing since he was a rookie,
Mm.
and it's something that you're taught in Pee Wee football. You don't stare
Right.
down your receiver. You're gonna tip off where the ball's gonna go, and he does it constantly. And it's like everyone's like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, are you watching him? Like, I can see it on the TV broadcast. I can see him doing it. I don't need the NFL films to be able to do it to see it. I can see it very clearly when I'm at a game or watching it on film or watching it on TV. He's staring down
Right.
receivers, and that is why he screws up. But when you see him, and he did it against the Jets, he did it, against the Eagles, and a few other teams. When he is actually scanning the field and looking for that open receiver, that's when he's dangerous because you don't know where he's going to go. You don't know if you don't know if he's going to go short to Ferguson or he's going to go out to Pollard on a wheel route or you know uh, in the middle. You don't know where he's going to go, but he's going to find the open person. But when you're
Right.
staring down here to your left, and there's 5 people open over here on the right, what do
Mm.
you think's going to happen? Interceptions are
Right.
going to happen. he's gonna get sacked. It's because he's staring down. He's giving away where he wants to go.
Yeah, yeah.
So like Pollard, he not, I don't know if you guys ever listen to y'all's team's calls when when they call the players, but I like to listen to those because I like to hear whether they're excited, they're ready to go, just kind of how they talk. And Pollard, when we drafted him, he was like, "Thank you, appreciate it." Like he was disappointed about coming to Dallas.
Like,
So yeah, he's an
mm,
exciting player, but I don't think he ever wanted to be here. So it's like you went back to you're from Memphis. You played at Memphis, and you wanted to go back to Tennessee. Hey, cool. You just wanted to go back home. That's fine with me.
right, 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 right. I
So
get that.
there's times where it's just like I wanted to keep a player, but then I look at what they got. I'm like, I want to pay you that amount.
Mm,
Like that's dumb for what they wanted to pay you that amount. Cool, but they overpaid you. Cool. You got your money, but you ain't living up to that contract. You're gonna be cut in 2-3 years because you ain't gonna produce
yeah.
that amount.
You know what? And I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's exactly why I was happy when Austin Eckler left, because he wanted the bag and he was throwing plays.
I think I saw a
Mm,
few games where he's just
Last
like,
season he was
nope.
throwing plays.
mm, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't,
some of these players just don't make sense. Like, there's times where I've seen it with Dallas. I think I've seen a few players with the Jets. And I forgot what player did it with the Chargers, but there's been players that have been journeyman players go to a team, they get picked up, during the season or during training camp, they make the team, and all of a sudden they have the best season they've ever had in their entire career. They actually get made, and then they sign elsewhere, and then go back to being the same player they were before they got to our teams, and
mm,
it's like, well, you should have stayed and taken probably less because you would have succeeded. You'd have been doing what you did that previous season.
yeah.
So here's a Jed. I already know about your helmet. The mad scientist talked to me about your helmet because I asked him about it. So Thunder, I know it gets hot in our helmets when we're at games. We probably sweat. You sweat. I know I sweat like crazy, and my helmet kind of becomes like a Jello mold on my head after a little bit when it's hot out. But do you have a fan or a microphone when you are at games so people can hear you? Because I know if I don't have a voice amplifier in my helmet, and I just got a neck fan, so it's gonna blow up, so it'll help me stay at least somewhat cool for the most part. Um, you know, do you wear any of that when you're at games, or do you just kind of take off your helmet and wipe off and then go back?
Oh man, you guys are way ahead of me. I don't got any of that.
Well,
I,
I'll
I,
send
I
you the
usually
link
just
to
take off my
what.
helmet and I talk to people and they'll be like, "Hey, can I take a picture with you?" And like I'll just be like, "Yeah," and I just wipe down. You know,
I'll send you the
man,
link to my voice amplifier that you can use. Like you just run the cord down your the pad level and the jersey and just kind of. I just wear mine like slouched over to where it's like a box right here on my side, and it sounds
Mhm.
it. Everyone like freaks out when I start talking because it kind of turns your voice to like Din Djarin a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
yeah, yeah, I could use that, man. Honestly, it's been a fun ride. You know what I mean? Like becoming a Mandalorian, and they started that Mando podcast. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but man, it everything, all the fans. I'm just doing it for the kids, man. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Mm.
Like these kids come out there to the games, they want to have a good time. They love the show, and it's just like, oh look, that's the Charger Thunderlorian, that's the Charger Mandalorian,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they want to take a picture, and I'm just like, man, like, yeah, come over here,
Yeah,
and
I'll have kids come up and like, cause in all honesty, I can only see from here straight. I can't see anything down, so I'm always
yeah,
doing this to
yeah.
make sure I don't run into a kid or nail nail a kid at all. But I've had kids come up and like run up and like grab and hug my leg. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, hi, how are
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Or I'll have kids like really like scared, and I'll go up and like, hey, high five, and then they kind of like they
loosen
kind
up.
of like relax and like, okay, I'll take a picture now.
Yeah, yeah,
Or I'll
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely,
and
man,
I'll
and
give the opposing fans kids too. I'll give them like a sticker that I have and stuff like that. Like, hey,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
it's like what we said. We're super fans. We're a different type of level. We have to be for the people, man. And keep them happy.
yeah. I mean, we're building the experience.
Yeah.
We're making the experience for these football fans to come. They're looking for people like us because it's not so much that we're egotistical. It's more like we're an attraction for the fans to
mm-hmm.
be drawn to our fan base.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm saying that in the most respectful way possible. We're
Yeah.
not better than anybody. We're just
Yep.
doing what we love.
Yeah.
We
We're not
love our
better. We're
teams.
just different. We're just different.
Yeah,
That's it.
And also if you're a little bit more animated with the fans and like and you make the experience just a little bit better because in all honesty, I don't know if I know Jet hasn't been to Dallas, but Thunder, have you been to Cowboy Stadium?
I haven't been to AT&T Stadium yet.
Okay, so in
I've been
front
to
of
your
the
guys' training
stadium,
camp. I live down the street from it.
there's about a half mile roughly stretch of tailgaters. So for me to get from where I normally park down to basically the end point where kind of the parking lots end, it takes me about an hour just because of the amount of pictures I get, and people just like will see me walking because I'm not someone honestly that will go into just someone's unless I know the person. I won't go into like their tailgate and like
Right.
force
Right. Right.
people to take pictures or anything like that. If they want a picture, I'm like, hey, y'all come up to me. I'll be happy to take a picture if you want a picture. But yeah, I just like when I freak people out when I'm kind of quiet for the most part, and I go, this is the way, and they go,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, like you can talk.
Yeah, I'm definitely using the amplifier this year. I'm definitely gonna take it with me.
Yeah, no, that's totally how it is. We call our tailgate Thunder Alley. Um, it's one strip of a parking lot, and man, like I can't walk through there dressed up.
Right, right.
If I walk through there dressed up, it's gonna take me about 2 hours to get to where I need to be.
Yeah,
You get
yeah,
there 4 hours early or 5 hours early to the game.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I don't even I suit up when I'm at my canopy. When I'm at my canopy, I'm like, all right, you know what, cool.
yeah.
So what? Real fast before we actually end tonight. What are all the different patches on your jersey?
On mine,
Yeah,
um,
see the Mando patch.
Yeah.
this
Yep.
one's the. Hold on, I'm trying to
I see like
figure
a
out the angle right
505
here.
patch, the captain's patch, and then the AZ patch. What was the AZ patch about? Oh, that's 805. My bad.
Yeah, 805. I got a captain patch right here with a bolt in it.
Yep.
The Por Vida. Then I got I don't know, man. I got a bunch of patches.
All around.
I have to stand up.
Okay,
Got
that's
Thunder
cool.
Alley.
Thunder Alley. All right. Awesome.
That says Believe right here.
Okay.
Then I
Easy
got Bull
Bolt
Pride,
Pride.
Arizona, and another Thunder Alley.
Okay. Awesome.
Nice.
I got too many patches, man.
They look good though, man. They make the jersey look good. It pops it out. That's good.
Now,
What?
is it cool if I give a shout out real quick?
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
Let me give a shout out to Bull Pride Worldwide, Bull Pride San Diego, Bull Pride Los Angeles, Bull Pride Orange County, Bull Pride 805. I love my Bull Pride 805 family. Much respect to all the different fan bases. You know, everyone. We all got to come together. This got to be like a fan unity thing. Like, you know, we all got to come together and just do like our due diligence, pay respects. You know, just be cool with each other. You know, it ain't that serious. It's just football. You know,
Yep.
and I've always said this: football unites. You know, sports unites the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, there's no politics. There's no whatever you feel. Da 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 da. None of that stuff exists when you go to a sports game.
Correct.
Yep.
And you know, shout out to my Mandos. Shout out to Zap. Shout out to G-Man. Shout out to you, Jets. Shout out to you, Cowboy Lorian. You know, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I was
Glad we could finally get you
on here because I haven't been on a sports podcast in a while.
Okay.
It's been a while, bro. It's been a while.
Well, let's not make this the last time either. Let's not make this the last time.
Yeah. Like that, I really enjoyed our talk, and it was fun. And you know, like everybody was encouraging me. They were like, "No, you got this. Like, go on it. Don't be shy." And yeah, like I was just like, because it's been like at least like 2 years. It's been 2 seasons already.
Okay.
But
So I just we got to bring you back on soon. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be back. I'll be back on Tuesday. I'll be back. We'll catch up more on Tuesday. We'll get more in depth with the questions of. I want to know how you became a Jets fan, and I want to know how you became a Cowboys fan. Just the way you guys want to know how I became a Chargers fan. And that's something we can cover next Tuesday. That'll be a topic for next Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Let's do that for sure.
All right, Thunderlorian. Appreciate you hopping on. Everyone for watching. Real appreciate it. Make sure you follow and like. Go follow us on our streams. Thunder, where can they find you?
They can find me at Bull Pride 805 _ on Instagram, and on TikTok they can find me at Bull Pride 805.
All right.
You guys heard it.
Awesome. Make sure you follow and subscribe to us. You know, you can find us on our TikToks, Instagram, and Facebook, and we also post this stream live on YouTube, so you can always go recatch it and watch us. Watch this whole thing if you missed anything. So, you know, as we like to say in the Mando world, this is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
And hope you all have a great night, and we'll catch y'all next week at 8 o'clock Eastern. Y'all have a great night. Thank you all for hopping on.
Have a good one, everybody. Have a good one.